Welcome to The Deciding Point, our Cracked Racquets weekly breakdown of the biggest storylines going on throughout the tennis world. We're going to focus on the professional action this week. We had 4 fantastic tournaments delivering us some very fun results. With that in mind, here was one of our biggest storylines from the past week of pro tennis. For this week's Deciding Point, we're going to switch things up a little bit, and obviously there have been so many fantastic results from these next-gen ATP players, not just over the past year, but really the past 4 seasons, and we've seen now Alex Zverev, Stefanos Tsitsipas, Daniil Medvedev win the last 3 year-end championships. We saw Dominic Thiem break through to win a Grand Slam title, albeit no Nadal, no Federer in the draw, Djokovic disqualified in that event, but you start to look at all the titles these next-gen guys have accumulated, with Zverev, Medvedev capturing Masters events. Khachanov even has a Masters title, and, all the success Tsitsipas has had at the year-end finals, at the Grand Slams as well. For Andrei Rublev, 4 straight ATP 500 titles with his victory this past week in Rotterdam. The deciding point I wanted to have, the question I wanted to discuss, is do these events matter? Do any titles outside of, the Masters, the Grand Slam events, change your perception of any of these next-gen players? And I can only speak for myself, but it's getting tough because I think the fact that Rublev has won 4 straight ATP 500 level events, the fact that we saw Daniil Medvedev at the end of the 2019 season just, rip through the City Open and then the Rogers Cup and then the Western and Southern Open, the fact that we've seen Dominic Thiem win an Indian Wells title, we've seen Zverev do it at all sorts of places, Tsitsipas do it at all sorts of places. We know what these guys are capable of, and of course the Berrettinis of the world, the Jannik Sinners of the world, they continue to win, and swoop up those ATP 250 level titles. We saw, Juan Manuel Cerundolo do it at the 250 level as well. The question is, do the success these players have at non-Masters 1000 events, non-year finals, non-Grand Slam events matter to them heading into those big events? And of course, a litmus test is always, did you beat one of Djokovic, Nadal, Federer to earn your title? Did you beat a fellow top next-gen player to do that? Because of course, if you are able to do that, like Rublev was in the Rotterdam semifinals over Tsitsipas, that's absolutely a data point for all of us tennis players to keep in mind should that matchup happen later on in a Grand Slam. But that being said, I think it's also safe to say the next-gen ATP players have answered all of those questions. If there's not a big 3 player in the draw, they are the favorites. There's a reason Medvedev, Zverev, Tsitsipas, and I'm missing the other player who it was, were the top 4 seeds last week, and Rublev were the top 4 seeds in Rotterdam. There's a reason, these players keep creeping into the top 10, and there's a reason they're the healthiest guys at the end of the season. We've seen them win year-end championships, but the days of the hot takes, the days of 4 straight ATP 500s, Andrei Rublev's winning a Grand Slam for sure, those days are probably over. And I will say, if you see one of these young guys winning a Masters event in the lead up to a Slam, definitely keep that data point in your head. That sort of victory deserves to be weighed equally because you do see Djokovic, not equally, but I'd say 80% of the way there, because you're going to see the big 3 guys in those events. But short of it being that sort of event, it's getting tough because these next-gen guys have had a ton of success, and we still haven't seen one of them get over that big 3 hump in the final of a Slam. That's the missing piece, and until that piece is answered, we'll continue, I suppose, to have questions about this next-gen ATP generation.